Running a YouTube channel is like fighting a war. We need manpower to secure the victory. Like and subscribe today to help us win this fight. Every like is a bullet down the barrel of your best man's gun. Help us win the war. Join the action today. What's up, Fortnite builders? In this video, I'm going to be recreating this photo from World War II in Fortnite. This photo was actually taken during the Battle of Guadal Canal, which is a small little island off of the Solomon Islands in the Pacific Ocean. And I know what you're thinking. I've actually already made and published a full-on Guadalcanal map that's publicly available to play on Fortnite. I'll leave the map code on the screen here. But in the map that I made that's public, I did not make it to where it's an amphibious invasion style map. I made it to where it's actually set a couple miles inland on the island of Guadal Canal. So for this video, I'm going to recreate this photo specifically in Fortnite. Now I'm going to try to keep this intro short, but I do want to mention my Discord community. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, please join, as well as don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would really help me out a lot. Alrighty then, without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's start the time lapse and let's get building. Alright, so to kick things off, as always, the first thing I did was actually import a custom landscape, and then I began working on importing all the custom textures, and then I just tried to figure out the layout of the map by looking at the real life photos I'm trying to recreate to actually recreate the beach in Fortnite. And if you look at the real life photos, it looks like the beach is kind of curved. Like you can see the boat in the middle of the picture, and then on the far side of the boat you can see there's some land and some trees. So I'm doing my best to use the landscaping tool inside of UEFN to get a layout of the map, trying to recreate the shoreline of the beach right now. And then I'm going to use some sand textures to paint on the beach. And then after I paint on all the sand textures, I'm going to start working on painting the grass textures on the other side of the sand. And the way that I'm going to try to paint on the grass is that I actually have two different grass textures, one that's a darker green and one that's a lighter green. And I'm going to blend those two textures together, as well as I'm going to mix those textures with two types of mud textures, one that's a darker mud and one that's a lighter mud, so that the whole landscape doesn't just look like it's one type of texture. However, for the beach, I'm just going to leave it just the one same sand texture the whole way through. And yeah, that's really all I'm doing right now. I'm just working on blending all the textures together. And so now that I've blended all the paint textures together, now I'm going to use the foliage tool to start painting on some grass and miscellaneous types of foliage. And you can see that I'm being extra cautious to make sure that the grass doesn't touch the sand textures or the shoreline of the beach. Later in the time lapse, I'm actually going to use the foliage tool again to paint on some small rocks and pebbles on the shoreline of the beach. But all I'm doing right now is just using the foliage tool to paint on some grass. And then after I paint all the grass on the landscape, I'm going to work on painting in some other types of foliage too. Specifically, I have another type of grass piece that I like to use. It kind of looks like some like weeds or something. I'm going to paint that one into the landscape, and then later I'm also going to paint in some like miscellaneous jungle plants. If you use UEFN, this is really nothing too difficult. It's just playing around with the tool settings, just trying to figure out what you like to paint in all the foliage. And then from here I'm going to play out the rest of the time lapse and I'll come back soon. Sorry about that. That was actually a lot sooner than I thought. As you can see now, I've placed in the boat that I'm going to use to recreate the boat that's in the real life photo, as well as the small little like wooden fishing boat that you can see in the real life photo. I placed that into the map as well, kind of in the general spot that it's supposed to be. But let's take a look at the real life photo real quick, just for reference before we continue building the map. In the real life photo, you can see that the big boat is like kind of sinking. It's like starting to capsize. You can see that the front of the boat is up in the air, whereas the back of the boat is sinking. And you can see that the front of the boat is also slightly angled towards the camera. So jumping back to the time-lapse footage, you can see that I'm doing my best to recreate the photo as historically accurate as possible. I'm trying to place the boat in the exact spot, trying to figure out where on my UEFN Fortnite map that the photo was taken, and then I'm just rotating the boat, trying to put it in the right spot, and then I'm also rotating it up in the air, angling it, just trying to make sure everything's correct. As well as I also played around with the little wooden fishing boat, just trying to make sure that that one's correct too. Alright, so now you can see I'm starting to work on placing in some of the palm trees. Whenever I'm placing down trees, sometimes I prefer to use the foliage tool, but sometimes I prefer just to do it by hand. With the foliage tool, you can't really customize the scale as much as you can as whenever you're placing it down by hand, or if you're able to, I'm just unaware of it. Either way, I'm changing the scale and the size of some of these palm trees so that they don't all look the same. I'm trying to recreate it like the photo, where most of the palm trees are angled towards the beach, as well as the palm trees in the photo seem really skinny and tall. So I'm doing my best to recreate the palm trees as accurate as possible, making some of the palm trees big, making some of the palm trees small, making some of them tall, making some of them short, changing the width, changing the height, rotating, placing in different spots, directions. Whenever you're placing trees into your maps, if you just copy and paste the same tree over and over again, it'll look really bad. And nature trees don't all grow the same shape and size. So again, I'm just trying to go for variation here, trying to make it look as realistic as possible. And once I've placed down a good row of palm trees, I'm just going to copy that whole row and then paste it over and over again, just trying to fill out the shoreline of palm trees on the beach. And then after I've done that, I'm going to copy and paste that row again and start placing some more trees behind the initial row that I built. And yeah, the palm trees is pretty much the last thing I really got to do to finish the map. This map is not 100% super detailed. I did it pretty quickly. This map only took me about 30 minutes to make. My personal life kind of got in the way whenever I was building this one, so I kind of had to cut it early. But yeah, I'll just play out the rest of the time-lapse footage of me placing down the final palm trees, and then we'll come back and talk about the final product. And here's the final product. Overall, I think I did a really good job on this map. I think I was able to recreate the real life photo pretty accurately. Whenever I was looking at the real life photos of this specific photo of Guadal Canal, there was actually a black and white version and there's a colored version. And I mainly used the real life colored photo to recreate my Fortnite map, but they're pretty much the same thing. The boat that I used in my Fortnite map to recreate this photo is definitely not the exact same boat that was in the real life photo. It's just the closest prop that I had available to me to recreate the photo with. But I think that the fishing boat does a pretty good job at recreating the real life photo, as well as some of the real life photos I was looking at of Guadal Canal had different boats. So I'm aware that there was different like wrecked boats at Guadal Canal, not just this specific photo that I was trying to recreate. And some of the other shipwreck photos I was looking at Guadal Canal, the boats actually looked a lot more similar to the one that I used in my Fortnite map. But again, overall, I'm not really nitpicking this map too much. I think I did a pretty good job at trying to recreate a general idea of the real life photo. I like the grass and the terrain and the foliage, and I think I was able to recreate the beach line very accurately, as well as trying to figure out the exact spot that the real life photo was taken in my Fortnite map is a little bit challenging, just trying to figure out the photo angles and stuff like that. But I think I did a pretty good job at figuring out the exact spot that the photo was taken and then taking some photos of my Fortnite map from that spot. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If I had to rate this map on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 7, but you can debate me in the comment section. Do you think it should be higher or lower? And overall, guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Winning a war takes manpower, so enlist today to help me reach victory. And don't forget to join my Discord community. The link is in the comment section. And if you guys like these kinds of videos, please let me know in the comment section as well. Or if you have another idea for a video that you'd like to see me do in the future, please let me know in the comment section too. So again, guys, overall, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, join my Discord, and I will see you guys next time.